Pet. Hello. You're awake. Yes, you were asleep. You were asleep for far too long. You worried that I look tired. You are a funny thing. But I'm glad you're acting yourself again. No, don't sit up. Just lay still. You've been unwell. You've been very unwell. Yes, it was just a slight fever, wasn't it? But that was many days ago. You don't remember it getting worse then? Like I said, you've been asleep for far too long, my darling pet. But don't worry. I've been by your side the entire time. So I suppose I am a little tired. Are you warm enough? I've wanted to hold you, but I didn't want to make you cold. Good. That's good. If you really must insist on sitting up here. Now are you content? I'll have the servants fetch you something to eat. Something hot. They've been worried about you too. You're quite the darling of the castle, you know. Yes. You shouldn't ask questions like that. Of all the questions you could ask, you ask that. Yes, you did almost die. Several times. Really, only you, pet, could already have me so cross. Because I know the next question you want to ask. Are you brave enough to, or shall I say it? No, I didn't turn you. Why would I do that? Is it better than death? Is that what you think? Is that what you want? Really think about it. Yes, I did nearly lose you, but I wouldn't turn you just for that, just for me. I wasn't going to put my pet through all of that just to save myself. I'm not that selfish, believe it or not. Do you think it's a pleasant experience? It's more painful than you can imagine, and it's not quick either, and the first years, you'd be a half-wild thing. Stop asking. No more. I will not do that to you. I will not curse you to eternity, to endless days. It's not all that it's cracked up to be, so no more. I've never seen you wear that expression before. So fierce for someone so small. Are you cross with me now? Don't be angry with me, pet. You don't know what you're asking for. Yes. Yes, we would be together forever. At what cost? Is it still worth it? So quick to say yes. It's a good thing I am immortal, or your bickering would send me to an early grave. Oh, are you not talking at all now? Are you really that cross with me? I wasn't laughing at you. I was laughing at the situation. Laughing at myself bickering like some old woman. I was not laughing at you, pet, I am sorry. No one will laugh at you ever again. And that includes myself. You really are upset with me, aren't you? I'm proud, actually. You've always been such a meek little thing, and here you are standing up for yourself. Barely awake for 5 minutes after being deathly ill and picking a fight with your mistress. Honestly, I'm rather impressed. But don't ask me to do that. I can't turn you into this. So can we agree to put it to rest? For now. Where has all this sass come from, I rather like it. It's very entertaining. I'm just grateful to see you with some spark. No, pet, I haven't fed. Like I said, I haven't left your side. I'll be fine. It can wait. See, you can't stay angry with me for long, can you? You have some colour back in your face. Are my hands nice and cool? I told you I didn't want to make you cold, not while you were so feverish. But it is good to touch you again, sweet thing. Well, and now you look sad. You're just a whirlwind of emotions right now, aren't you? What a shame that none of them seem to be pleasant for you. Why so sad now, little pet? Because you want to be with me forever. Are you sure about that? Forever is a long time. I'm not sure you can conceive of how terribly long. I think you would grow weary of me, of my company. Don't you think? Well, that's kind of you. No, I would never grow weary of you. Not ever, my darling. Not even of your questions. Please, no more arguing. Not now. You're still unwell. Perhaps when you are recovered, then we can argue to your heart's content, yes? How does that sound? Yes, I imagine you would be very tired indeed. Getting well takes a lot out of humans. It's a lot of work. But if you are tired, pet, then sleep. Sleep as much as you need. You need to take the time to heal. Yes, of course, I will stay with you. Where else would I go? Do not fear. I'll be right here, doting on you every second. Sleep, my darling. Good evening, sweet thing. Aren't you dressed up tonight? What's the occasion? No occasion. Just because. Well, good. I want you to enjoy the finer things. revel in them. You no longer seem quite so fearful of silk and pearls. You should wear rubies more often, though. They suit you so well. Would it be terrible of me to undo all of your hard work if I were to undress you like a doll? You do look so delicious, it's irresistible. Oh, I may? Well, you are good to me, aren't you? And since you are fully recovered, my pet, perhaps I could have a little nibble. I must admit I'm more than a little thirsty. But come, let me admire you. I'm going to undo this dress one lace at a time. And in fact, that's what I had to talk to you about tonight. You will have occasion to get dressed up again soon, fear not. Though I'm not exactly thrilled about it. We'll be having guests arriving next week. I wouldn't say they're friends. Colleagues. Compatriots. More of my kind, pet. I'm not thrilled about it, simply because I'm a homebody and I'm not fond of guests touching my things, but we must do what's expected of us sometimes, mustn't we? Oh, sweet thing. I can't always do what I want. While I am very old and very strong, there are those who are older. Every now and then my kind likes to meet up, swap stories, share information, and on this occasion I shall be hosting. I've managed to skirt the responsibility for quite a while, but it seems my time has come. But look at you. Only you could look prettier the less you wear. Though I think we'll be keeping those pearls on around your neck. Oh, and now a corset to deal with. More laces. Laces everywhere. You are a good girl, aren't you? Thinking of such things. Yes, you will have duties to perform whilst we entertain our guests. Some of them have human companions of their own. I'm not quite sure how many. It seems to be more common these days. So you will be hostess to them. This is your home too. You're to make a good impression, look your best, and behave yourself. Be nothing but respectful to the immortal guests amongst the party. But, now, no, look at me, and let me hold your chin so I'm sure you understand. Who do you belong to? Yes. You belong to me. It's not that I don't trust you, my sweet pet, but I'm a realist and humans are such fragile little things in so many ways. So I want you to keep that thought in the forefront of your mind, that you belong to me. While my peers may get ideas, I'll be telling them to keep their hands off of you, but in turn, I don't want to see you fraternizing with any of our human guests beyond your duty as a hostess, or I will be very cross. Am I understood? Good. But for now, let us get rid of that pesky corset, Much better. Nothing but a chemise now. Sit down with me. Come, sit. Are you scolding me? My goodness, the absolute cheek. Perhaps I have let myself get a little more hungry than I should have. But I wanted to make sure that you were recovered from your illness. Oh, you and your knives, give me that. My word, what will I do with you? But where shall I drink from, So many options, I simply can't choose. It would help to get rid of this last bit of fabric, wouldn't it? There. Much better. But now comes the task of not getting distracted. Well, let me remind you, pet, that you were the one just scolding me for not drinking, so before anything else I must attend to that particular appetite. You'll just have to wait, won't you? But you are so soft. It delights me every time. If I were to take your knife and do just a little nick above your hip, right here, just a little pinprick, would that be all right, my sweet? Thank you. And not even a flinch. You are so good, aren't you? No, I said that will do. Press this over it. I don't need much, pet. Not when you're as old as I am. A taste here and there is enough. Besides, I don't want to deplete your energy for other activities, do I? No. But you are so tempting head to toe. Should I tiptoe my fingers across your collarbone? No? That's not what you want. Well, you say I know what you want, but I'm really not sure. Your belly, then? Shall I trace my fingers up and down your sides? Still no, my. Perhaps I'm going in the wrong direction. Shall I touch your chest, pet? Is that better? Still not quite what you want. Shall I stop teasing you? Even though it is exceptionally fun. Is that what you're after? Oh yes, by the way you're arching your back, I dare say it is. Shall I press a little harder then? Oh, I am terrible, aren't I? But you have fed your mistress after all, so I really should give you a reward, shouldn't I? Lay back then. Let me please you. There you are, pet. Well, don't you look scrumptious? Perhaps that's the wrong word. Not enough of a compliment. You look exceedingly elegant. Quite a jewel. How different you look now to when you first stumbled through my door. And are you behaving yourself? Good girl. I knew you would. It's so strange to have so many people milling about. It rather feels like we're in a play, a performance, like this is a stage and not my home. Have you been admiring our guests as they arrive? Oh, it's all right to gawk. Though do try not to have your mouth hanging open, flies will get in. I sometimes forget how humble your old life was. And humble is a kind word for it, isn't it? Have you ever seen anything like it? All this finery, pageantry. We are a beautiful lot, aren't we? Like a flock of exotic birds. It's a chance for everyone to show off, puff their chests out and preen. It's always quite the show. And these are just the early birds. Just wait until the fashionably late guests start to arrive just before the dawn. They're sure to be quite spectacular. Well, thank you, pet. I do scrub up quite nicely, don't I? I even put on proper undergarments for once. How well behaved of me. You'll have to help me take them off later. Come sit on my lap. Here in the corner. I need to be away from people for a moment. There are more human companions than I was expecting there to be. It seems to be more common these days, perhaps. The world is a much smaller place. Our kind rub shoulders with yours more often now. There are some fine specimens, yes, but you're the prettiest of them, aren't you? I must say, I take better care of you as well. Look at that poor male there. He looks tired. Perhaps he's not used to sleeping through the day yet. See, that's why I love you so. Not just flattery, you mean it. You do love your mistress, don't you? Good. I've perhaps been a little possessive in our preparations for the festivities. A little jealous at times with where you're glancing, who's glancing at you, though everyone is glancing at you. Look how beautiful you are. You know it's because I care about you, pet. My treasure. I don't like other people touching my things. There's always the chance my things will get broken that way. And I've spent all this time and effort in patching you back together. Your eyes are just for me, are they? Good. By all means, admire our guests, but underneath it all, your gaze belongs to me, doesn't it? Good girl. But I suppose tonight is all about the pageantry of everyone arriving, showing off. Eyes are wandering. That's the point. I've not taken a companion before. Not like you, not something so permanent. Something I'm so protective of. It's surprised a few of our guests. Which again is why I've perhaps been a little overbearing. It's a fine line between protecting and smothering. And I don't want to smother you. Truly, I don't. It's not good to smother flowers. I knew you would understand. Yes, you want to be protected, of course you do. And I will continue to do so, my sweet little thing. Yes, let them watch. Let them see that you're mine. How I dote on you. That you're obedient to your mistress. Like I said, that's what this evening is for. It's not just the guests who are posturing, Pet, it's us too. That's why we're dressed to impress. I don't have much to do with the rest of them most of the time. So let's make an impression. Good girl, but you can let a little bit of spice out, you know. Give them a show. Did you want to tag along behind me for the rest of the night? Show them what an obedient girl you are. I think that would be interesting. Some of these other humans that have been brought along, they're lacking enthusiasm. But you, yes. No, you actually enjoy serving me, don't you? I must admit, it's made me all the more grateful for you, seeing the others. You're joyous in your service. You want it to be here with me. Isn't that right? Maybe I need some reassurance. Like I said, maybe I'm a little on edge, a little unsure. You're not a slave. If you truly wanted to go, I would let you. Yes, you have always said, where else would you go? But look here. So many options for you now. No? No other options. It's not that I don't believe you, Pet, it's that things change. I've lived a very long time. It's inevitable. Yes, I suppose company does make me sour. Now you see why I've been keen to avoid it all these years. Well, I shall just have to get over my little tantrum, won't I? Half our guests haven't even arrived yet. Already the gossip and rumours are swirling. It's only going to get headier as the week goes on. All the talk, the stories. So, Pet, knowing you're loyal to me, if you hear anything of interest, you'll let me know. Yes? Well, if someone were to think you're just a silly human girl, say something to a friend in your presence, or one of the other humans shared a secret asking you to promise not to tell any of the masters or mistresses, you would tell me then. Oh, good girl. I knew you would. I don't think anything is wrong, but like I said, things change. This is an opportunity to see which way the wind is blowing. A lot of them think because I'm solitary that I have no interest whatsoever in the politics of it all, but I do. I'm interested in whatever serves me and mine. When I was told I'd be the one hosting the gathering, I think most were surprised that I didn't try to refuse. Put up at least a bit of a fight, but there's something to be said for being on home territory. Who what? Oh, who could tell me what to do? One of the oldest of us. They haven't arrived yet, but every species, every herd and flock and town needs some sort of power structure to not crumble. We're all the same that way. And they're the head of our power structure. That's who can tell me what to do. No, I won't have to point them out when they arrive, you'll know. I think I've hidden away in the corner as long as I'm able to. Shall we rejoin the chaos, pet? Stay close. Make it clear you're mine, but keep those sharp little ears open. I'm interested in the things they'll hear. Are you all right, pet? You've gotten very good at masking your emotions, so tell me straight. Are you okay? All right. No, I do believe you. You would tell me if you weren't. But what did you think of that display? I think it's pretty obvious what I think, don't you? Obvious to you, at least. Beings that old screaming across a table at each other about matters like that. You weren't even there for the first part of that nonsense, that's right. When did you arrive? When the yelling started. Yes, come and sit by the fire with me. I'll fill you in on what you missed. Sweet girl. Do you realize how much braver you've gotten, pet? Look at you. Chin so high and not a tremble anywhere. Yes, I'm not quite so composed. Not now we're behind closed doors. But that's anger, not fear, don't worry. Do you think I'm afraid of anything? No. I suspect some of the other guests are feeling the same way. So the following days should be interesting. But suffice to say, I am proud of you. Yes, this is your home indeed. Why should you cower from such unruly guests? But yes, let me fill in the blanks for you. You finally saw Alias then? At the head of the table. The oldest of us. I almost thought she wasn't going to grace us with her presence, despite insisting I host this little get-together. Magnificent, isn't she? It's all right to admit it, she knows it too. I don't know how old she actually is. I don't even think she knows that. Millennia, surely. I don't trust her. She's always had her own interests at heart, which is fine. I certainly follow that same path through life. One must take care of oneself, after all. The problem is Alias presents her interests as everyone's best interests, of which I am skeptical. Well, that's the thing, pet. I don't quite know what she's up to. And at this evening's little gathering, a delightful gentleman named Rockford. Yes, the one in the red coat, how'd you guess? He suggested keeping a record of everyone's human companions. Who belonged to who and whatnot. Where they were from. That there should be a monitoring of our pets. Everyone had strong opinions on his suggestions, as you can imagine. What does Alias have to do with that? Well, she just observed. Just sat and watched. She could have easily told Rockford to shut his mouth. It never needed to escalate beyond that. But it did escalate as others defended their companions, and Rockford and his supporters argued back. And now suddenly, there's tension amongst our guests. Those who agree with Rockford and his view on humans, companions or otherwise. It's an issue. So I don't want you out of my sight for the rest of the gathering. All right? Not that I don't trust you, pet, you know that. But I don't trust the others. Not after that little display. I'm not sure what Alias wants, that's the problem. We've always kept out of human affairs, very much kept our distance, except for food. Maybe the occasional companion. But times have changed. The world is a much smaller place. Humans are braver. They have more knowledge at their disposal. More sophisticated weapons, too. And we know how they feel about my kind, don't we? Yes. I bet you heard all sorts of things said when you still lived with them. I'm not surprised, pet. Though I'm glad to see your own opinion has changed. I don't want to spread fear and dread, pet. I don't want you looking over your shoulder at all times and spooking at shadows in the corners. But be smart from now on, yes? Use that clever little brain of yours. Be cautious. When you live as long as I have, you learn to recognize the moments in time where things start shifting. When change is on the wind. It seems to be the way of the world right now, doesn't it? And what about the companions in attendance, Have you heard any whispers? Any secrets? I suppose they would be nervous. Like sheep that can smell a fox. Some want to go back to the human way of life. Really? Well, that's certainly not going to help if tensions continue to rise. I can't say that I blame some of them, the way their masters treat them. I rather spoil you, don't I? Well, I'm glad you love it. You want to stay, don't you? Good. Good. But enough dreariness. These people have come in here with all of their dramatics. No more for tonight. Just because they're miserable sods doesn't mean we have to be, isn't that right? Yes, that's right. So tell me, pet, what else have you been up to this evening? Just observing what's going on. You are a patient little sparrow, aren't you? And you've eaten. Good. And what of the servants? Well, sticking to the kitchens, well, I don't blame them. But how you've changed. You were such a frail little thing when you first came here, and now look at you. Taking care of the others. I do like it. Very much. The spark in you is now a steady little blaze. Brighter every day. Perhaps that's why you're always so warm. Sit on my lap. That's better. Have you been outside? You smell of pine needles. Just by the window. What have you been looking at out the window? Out towards your old village, oh pet. Don't worry, you never have to go back there again. What do you mean, maybe you should? Why should you? To see what you could learn. I dare say it wouldn't be much the way those imbeciles behave. They'd be surprised by the sun rising each morning. They beat you. They sacrificed you to save themselves. They threw you away. Yes, I know you'd come back. I'm not worried about that. They don't deserve to be in your presence. I'll think about it. We'll see how things develop. And I'll think about it. But until then, I don't want to hear another word on it. But let's not quarrel. Let's talk of happier things instead. There you are. Have you been hiding from me? How coy of you. Oh, and so serious. Am I not allowed to joke now? How rude of me. I am joking. You know that, right? Don't hide from me, pet. Please don't ever truly hide from me. Good. I think a storm is coming. Can you hear the wind? Or perhaps it's a little while off yet. Isn't it a relief to have our home back to ourselves? Guests in general are draining, but those guests in particular, they were getting very tiresome. Well, the celebratory mood never really recovered, did it? After that spat over what to do about humans, as if it's our choice. But you were a good girl, and stayed out of the way for the rest of it. But I am glad things are back to normal, and I can ravish you wherever and whenever I want. I do love kissing your jaw. It's such a lovely shape for a jaw. You've been very sneaky the last few days, whilst keeping away from the others. What have you been up to? Listening? My patient little sparrow. And thinking, well, that is a dangerous thing, isn't it, with your sharp little mind? Well, how much have you heard? No, I will not keep secrets from you. That's quite pointless, isn't it? Usually a gathering like this, it's meant to remind us that, at the very least, we should not rip the world to shreds and try to get along. But this time, there was still a rift. When everyone departed, you could feel it. A gaping chasm. I don't like it. The way things ended. Redcoat Man. Rockford. Darling, his name was Rockford, but I prefer Redcoat Man. It's far more suited to the amount of respect he deserves, which is very little indeed. And I have a feeling we'll be seeing more of him in the future, unfortunately. I told you when you get to my age you start to be able to smell change on the wind. It's like the weather. You get very good at recognizing the patterns. If only we could predict if this will be full-blown war or not. That would be useful. Yes, information would help immensely, but we don't have information. We know as much as anyone else about what my kind are thinking, and as for the humans, well, who knows? Who knows what's rattling around in their little heads? You did already make that suggestion last time, and frankly, I don't want to hear it again. Is it really so surprising that I don't want you to go back to that disgusting little village? To the people who hurt you so badly? I think it's a rather rational reaction, myself. You're going to have to insist, are you? Why? Maybe you are the only one able to find out what they're thinking, what they're whispering. But if it's a choice between not knowing and sending you away, then I'd rather go into the future blind. I don't care how much stronger information will make us. I'm not the one who needs protecting. No. I am angry, yes, but not at you. I'm angry that things were going so well. For once in my very long life, everything was going so well. And now, it's not that it's all crumbling down, but I can start to see the mortar between the bricks beginning to crumble. Isn't it? That face. That determined little face. I've made quite the monster out of you. Haven't I? cage you. I won't do that, not to you, my little bird, not when you've just learned how to spread your wings. But I want to. I want to lock you away where no one will ever be able to lay a finger on you. I never want to let you out of my sight. 2 days. You have 2 days to learn what you can, and then you will come back to me. And there will be no compromise on that. I will come and get you myself if I have to. And if you test me on that, then I will start thinking about cages. What request, my darling? Why should I feed on you before you go? And weaken you for no reason. Where's the sense in that? You've become too cunning, haven't you? My intelligent little thing. I always called you my little bird, my sparrow, but now you're more like a raven, a clever crow. I do mean that as a compliment. They're fascinating creatures. Yes, I suppose if they see that I had fed on you, it would make things more believable. That you were running back to them, a wound on your neck, face pale. At least you've stopped bothering to ask if I'll bite you. That really would make me cross. I said I wasn't afraid of anything. And that's been true for so long now, but I'm afraid of losing you. I am so afraid that you won't come back. Whether that be because they hold you there, or whether you choose not to return after all. You are fickle things, you humans. The crow analogy is quite apt, actually. Well, because you could very well see something new and bright and far more appealing, and off you fly in a different direction. Dreary, am I? Just because I can sense change coming doesn't mean I like it. Change isn't always for the best. I have homes elsewhere, you know. Have I told you that? I've been shrewd over the years, wise in my investments. Other cities, other countries. I can go wherever I choose. I've always liked it here because it's remote, private, quiet. But perhaps it's time to take the plunge and have a change of scenery. So when you return, because you will return, that isn't up for debate, perhaps we'll fly away somewhere. Start fresh. You promise, do you? I've had a lot of promises broken in my lifetime, you know. Words are cheap and plentiful. Yes, I trust you. But please, my pet, don't make me regret trusting you. I don't think I could bear it. Pet. My pet. Of course I trusted you to come back. Of course I did. I knew you would. But I wanted to be as close as possible when you left that dank little place. I didn't want to spend a second longer without you, not if I didn't have to. I was going to lead you home myself. I said I would. Are you all right? Oh, if they so much as touched a hair on your head, I will burn this place to the ground. Good. No, that's good. I'm glad they were too scared to go near you. Their instincts were correct for once. Come, walk with me. Let's leave this place. It will take days to wash the stink of it off. I'm glad you're happy, my little pet. Well, you went there to gather information. You were hell-bent on it, if I recall, so tell me, what did you learn? Well, we knew they thought I was evil. That's not surprising. What did they think of you looking so well-fed and healthy? Oh, you did tell them I was feeding on you. You've become so sly. Butter wouldn't melt in your mouth, and I don't think your eyes could go any wider. Not even if you tried. How did they know about the gathering? Seems they've gotten sly too. I'm almost impressed. An army. You could hardly call us an army, especially with such differing opinions amongst the ranks. But if they think my kind are gathering in an army, then they'll do the same. They'll gather, organize, attack. It doesn't matter if the threat is real or imagined, they'll retaliate. Pet, I have lived a long time. The world is a continuous chain of patterns all circling back on each other. The difference is now they have half-decent weapons. Technology has come a long way, so there's a dose of unpredictability for once. I won't lie, I'm more than a little interested to see where this will go. It's refreshing to not know the ending. Well, as long as you're out of the way, that's all I really care about in the long run. What about the long run? Don't, Pet. Don't spoil this with questions like that. The answer is no, it will always be no. So don't bother thinking of any reality where the answer will be yes, because that reality doesn't exist. I will not turn you. There is nothing you can say that will convince me otherwise. So enough. All right. Good. Let's not stop moving. I'm eager to have you away from this place. I'm not nervous. No, Spending the past 2 days without you gave me time to think. I think that the time has come to move our lives elsewhere. I've been here a century, maybe more, I can't quite recall. Time for something new, something interesting. I've grown tired of being tucked away in the middle of nowhere. And I told you that I have properties elsewhere. I picked one I think you might like. One that's closer to others of my kind and yours. For security's sake, I can be strategic when I want to be. We won't be going back to the castle at all. I've perhaps already made arrangements whilst you are gone. Once I make a decision, there's no real point in delaying anything, is there? So the servants are already on their way there, and once we're out of these damn woods, there'll be a carriage waiting for us. Walking is all very well and good, but one must luxuriate every now and again. I told you I'm not nervous. I am animated and awake. For the first time in a very long time, interesting things are happening in the world again. Or at least I'm interested in them, I suppose. Oh, well, this strange little bird showed up on my doorstep one day and turned the world upside down. She's been really quite disruptive. Through here. Humans really can't see far in the dark, can you? As if I would so much as let you stumble, pet. See, there's the road. And we'll wait for the carriage. I told him to meet us here. Pet, I'm not going to feed on you in the middle of the woods, so don't even bother suggesting such a thing. I'm not the only creature out here who likes the smell of blood. But the offer is appreciated. I know you care for me, but now is not the time. I don't know when we'll be alone again. Why? Is there something we can only do when we're alone? I'm rather gratified, actually, knowing that spending 2 days apart was as difficult for you as it was for me. But I imagine they'll come looking for you, thinking I stole you back. Who knows, maybe they'll be smart enough to figure out that you left on your own accord. What tidbits did you learn? I imagine it will take a while to think back on everything. Extermination is the word they used. Poor things really are frightened, aren't they? Some of us are vermin, I suppose, as are some humans. It's not really exclusive to any particular species. But yes, I think it's wise to move away from here. If only to be less isolated. Tensions are too high to be cut off from the rest of the world right now. More people, whether my kind or yours, doesn't necessarily mean more dangers. Sometimes the safest place is the eye of the storm. Do you think they'll march on the castle? Pitchforks and torches held high. I haven't seen that spectacle for quite some time. Oh, if only we could be flies on the wall and watch as they realised we weren't there. That would be satisfying, to see how disappointed they'll be. You're right. They'll probably think I flew off into the night, when in fact I'm riding away in a rather normal carriage, led by a rather normal horse and driver. How anticlimactic of me. Always so beautiful. Speaking of the carriage, I can hear it coming. It's still a little way off, but soon enough we can climb in and we can be alone, if that's what you want. Now what? Well, now, my darling, I suppose a new chapter begins.